if I as a company had to make a payment to another company, so what do you do the settlement on?
So the settlement at the end terminals is let's say between dollars and euros or dollars and pesos. That settlement runs on our layer 2 network, and then it terminates on the Bitcoin blockchain for our core payment network.
In this structure, now with stablecoins finding much wider adoption, really, I mean, one of the first big use cases within crypto. Do you see that as an existential challenge, or do you think that that will be a sort of great opportunity for where they stand?
I think there are big opportunities in stablecoins. I also tend to think they're in different places than a lot of my, other Web3 colleagues. So I generally find that stablecoins are very interesting for treasury purposes. They're interesting for payout purposes, for an exporting of the US dollar. I'm very bullish on those use cases. Um, where I think there's maybe a lot more hype right now that I'm not sure if it lives up to it yet. Is stablecoins is one of the areas that TradFi people kind of can easily understand, and so they tend to put them in, sort of payment rails that, in reality, you have to onboard money in and out of the stablecoin on traditional rails, and so you're sort of stuck with the same costs, and you're sort of stuck with the same timing constraints to get into the network. And so I think people that underestimate what that is. And so in many payment cases that I think people think stable coins are going to be much faster or cheaper, they're not calculating how much the cost is to get, let's say, on and off those ramps are. And when you do, it's arguable how competitive it is. But I do believe actually stablecoins are quite useful in some cases where if you're going to offer payouts, for example, there's really incredible use cases. If you're going to hot swap between, whether it's, dollars and digital assets, that's super interesting. Yield bearing mechanisms for treasury, super interesting. So I tend to think that there are very, very good uses for stablecoins. I don't consider them competitive to Bitcoin, nor do I consider them competitive to sort of payment infrastructure, but I would say that's a non-standard view for most of my colleagues.